morning traders, and welcome to this week's Forex Focus, the show where we look ahead at the opportunities that could be setting up in the FX markets. I'd like to start off by wishing all of you fathers out there a very happy Father's Day. I hope you've had a great day and you've been spoiled absolutely rotten. Now for the FX markets, and basically we have a very, very big week here in the UK and indeed for the rest of Europe, because we have the votes for whether Britain's going to remain in the EU or is going to exit. And that's actually going to take place on Thursday and will indeed affect a number of our trading decisions and the trades that we were looking to take. So without further ado, let's jump over to the charts and look at what could be setting up for the week ahead. And also let's talk about what it is that we're going to be avoiding going up to that particular vote and potentially how we'll be looking to play things. Okay, so let's jump over to the charts and take a look at that right now. So the first thing to notice is that we aren't looking to take any pound trades or any sterling trades leading up to the vote itself. There were a couple of opportunities that we're setting up. So we've got one here in the pound CAD, which looked really, really nice. We've got on the 4-hour time frame, we've got a nice swing to the downside. We've got a very nice pullback, and that looks like something that would be an opportunity to take this short and at least attack the previous lows, as we can see here. So a short-term trade there, but an opportunity for a little bit of profit. But we're going to completely ignore that one for the moment because of what's going on this week. We also had one in the pound Aussie, which is pretty similar. We've got a nice swing down. We've got a pullback here, and in fact, we actually would have looked for this to come down towards the lows down here on the daily chart, as you can see here, as opposed to just attacking the most recent momentum lows. But again, because of the vote that's coming up this week, because it really is, no one really knows what's going to happen. There could be a lot of volatility in the markets, particularly with sterling. We are going to stay out of the market. And also from the euro perspective as well, if things are setting up there, we'll probably do that with a little less size, because this doesn't just affect Britain. This doesn't just affect the UK. It is also going to affect the whole of the Eurozone, depending on which way the vote goes. So that's how we're playing this for the moment. Obviously, when we approach the vote, we'll look at the price action very carefully. If we see a lot of positions on either side of the markets, it may be an opportunity to basically take the opposite side in a bid to sort of get in on a bit of profit taking or something like that. But that's not something that we would recommend anybody does. That's something that we're going to look at coming up towards the vote, and we'll just see what the price action looks like at the time, because there are a lot of variables that you need to take into account there. Obviously, after the vote, we'll have to see what the landscape looks like and then potentially reassess some of our positions. So what we're looking at in terms of actual positions for this week that we're looking to take, we've got this one on the AUDCAD, which looks very, very nice. What we have here is the AUDCAD is sort of, if I zoom in here to the daily chart a minute, you can see that it's in a bit of a consolidation zone, bit of a congestion zone, but a wide one all the same. And in these zones, what you expect to happen is you expect the markets to basically play from one side to the next and bounce from one side to the next. And that's exactly what I'm expecting to play out here. And I'm looking to take advantage of this, not actually on the daily chart, but more from the 4-hour chart. So I'll be looking for a breakdown of this level here, perhaps sort of like some sort of a consolidation around that level, and then I'll be looking for extra confirmation to get in there. I'll then either have my stop above these highs here, or if another technical high prints around this level there, I may opt to put it behind that level and a little bit closer to the price. And ultimately, looking to take profit by the time we get to these lows here, because they are big lows. They are big lows on the daily charts and also the weekly chart. So it's not something really that I want to try and fight with. It would just be a nice short-term move for some short-term profits. We've also got an opportunity on the Aussie yen. Now this one here looks like it's, if I show you from the 1-hour perspective, this one here looks like it could be looking to go short right now. So if later on this evening, then when the market opens up, it goes short from here, I would be looking to take a position there to attack the lows here with a stop above the highs. But it would be a smaller position, because what ultimately I'd actually like to see from this trade here is I'd actually like to see the market retrace a little bit more and come back to this previous level of support and let that act as resistance, and then take a short from that level there. That would be my ideal spot to initiate a short. But if the market does go short from this level here, it still is playing with a previous level of support, being this one here on the hour. which is then acting as resistance. So it still would be valid, but it's just not something that I'd necessarily take with a full position size. Similar sort of story with the CAD yen. The CAD yen, I really do want it to pull back a little bit more because there's nothing immediately to the left here that it's actually trading from. We've got a mini sort of double top, you could say, right here. So the market's come up here, printed a high. It's come back up again, it's printed another high, then it's going short. And if we get a break from this level here, again, something that I'd take with a smaller position size, but I really would prefer this to come back a little bit more and then give us the opportunity to go short. That's exactly the sort of trades that I like to take, from a predefined level of support and resistance. And that sort of wraps it up for this week as far as the trading opportunities go. There aren't many at the moment. There may be more that presents itself as the week progresses, as indeed it does every week. You've got to, constantly keep an eye on the markets. Things can change, from day to day, from minute to minute, or from hour to hour. So obviously you just want to keep an eye on your charts and see how the price action sort of develops as the week progresses. And then just look for the opportunities, similar to the sorts of opportunities that we're showing you here in the Forex Focus and the way that we trade our accounts. And remember, obviously this is not trade advice. We're not telling you that you should be taking any trades at all. We're just showing you what we're looking to do with our own accounts. It is simply that, educational purposes only. But if you have been watching the Forex Focuses for a while and you have been learning from the way that we approach our trades, it should be pretty evident that it's a very, very simple trading approach that we use here for the Forex Focuses. And it is something that you should be able to carry on over into your own trading. Okay? Finally, I want to talk to you about a trade that we took last week. And I don't want to talk to you about it because we made money on it. In fact, I want to talk to you about it because we actually didn't make any money at all on it. And that was the one on the Euro New Zealand. And basically, the reason that I want to go through this particular trade is that one thing that we've noticed with a lot of struggling traders or a lot of new traders is it's very black and white. So they're either going to make money for a trade or they're going to lose money. There's no concept of looking to see how the trade develops over time, and then based on how that develops, either maybe manage the trade a little bit differently, maybe come out a little bit early. And that's exactly what we did on this trade right here. So we got into the Euro New Zealand. So we're expecting, similar to the Aussie CAD that we were talking about earlier, we're expecting a bit of a breakdown from here to go towards the lower part of the range. It's then a bit of a range on the daily chart. To go towards the lower part of the range. So we got in on a break. The market broke through this level. It gave a bit of a pullback. And then when it broke down beneath this level here, at the 1.5926, we got in there. We entered into a trade. And the market went with us. And then it immediately went against us. And we didn't come out here. So it wasn't like the market immediately went against us and we just, ditched the position altogether. We waited for it and we gave it a chance. But basically, this pretty much went sideways for the rest of the week. And what happened was, when it came to the end of the week on Friday, it was pretty much more or less in the position where we entered. We were out of the money a little bit, but not a great deal. And I decided on Friday to actually close up this position because, I didn't feel like it was worth taking the risk over the weekend. Now, yes, the market could open up later on this evening. It could open up down here and go towards our profit target, and that would have been wonderful. But by the same token, the market could also open up here and then go and stop us out. And ultimately, if you look at this trade here, it's no longer the trade that we got into. We got into this trade for the reason that we thought that it was going to break down. We had a nice sort of harmonic price action here, and we didn't have this consolidation that we had here. So what you have to ask yourself when you're in a trade and when you're reassessing it, not from an emotional perspective, okay? Because if you do it emotionally, you're going to lose money. But what you have to do is look at a trade, all right, as it progresses. So after, if you're a day trader, after a couple of hours, if you're a swing trader, maybe after a couple of days. But basically look at the trade and say to yourself, if I were to get into this trade right now, or if I were to be presented with this opportunity right now, would I want to take this trade or not? And looking at this right here, if I were presented with this opportunity, as opposed to this opportunity back here, I wouldn't take that trade. And if I wouldn't take that trade, then I have no business being in it. And therefore, I exited that trade. Okay? So I hope all of that made sense. And I hope, obviously, particularly that last little lesson there about managing your trade really will give you a lot of value in your trading career going forwards, because trading isn't about, black and whites. It's not about, a scientific approach to things. Yes, obviously there are algorithms out there, and there are robots that will trade the markets for you. But my brother and I truly believe that trading is as much an art as it is a science. And those that are going to be truly successful over the long run really need to take that into account and need to think to themselves that actually, it's not about trading black and white. It's not about win or lose. It's about managing your trade, reading the stories of the market, listening to what the market is trying to tell you. And then over time, you will find that you're a much better trader, you're a much more consistent trader, and obviously you have more money in your pockets. Okay? So thank you very much for watching the Forex Focus this week. I wish you the best of luck for next week. Obviously, if you're here in the UK, have fun with the votes. Obviously, you'll be going to your polling stations on the 23rd. Make sure, obviously, you do what you feel is right. Don't worry about what anybody else is telling you or what any of the pundits are saying. It's your vote, so you do what you feel is right for yourselves. And other than that, have a great week in the markets, and we will speak to you on next week's Forex Focus. So thank you very much for watching. Take care and good trading.